she grabbed Damian Wayne's heart in more than one way. Let's jump into the video and find out who is Flatline. Nika was born and raised in Russia, the youngest child in a family cloaked in mystery. At a very young age, she developed an eerie fascination with death. But this wasn't just a phase or a morbid curiosity, it was something much deeper, something primal, and as it turns out, something inherited. Her grandfather, a man whose secrets ran colder than Siberian winters, had once been the subject of covert KGB experiments. The result, a supernatural ability to absorb the memories and physical skills of anyone who died near him. The power skipped a generation, lying dormant until Nika came along. It all began for Nika in a hospital room. Her grandfather was dying, surrounded by the family. As he took his final breath, something awakened in Nika. She absorbed his knowledge, his skills, and his sins. In a flood of memories, she saw that her grandfather had been a serial killer. She asked her family if they had known, and of course that didn't go over well with the rest of the family. But the strangeness didn't end there. At his funeral, Nika had a vision. Her grandfather appeared to her, explaining the origins of her ability and warning her that assassins were en route to kill her. Moments later, armed men showed up at the funeral service. Nika, now supercharged with her grandfather's lethal talents, tore through them with just her bare hands. Her family was stunned and terrified and fled the scene. With no one left to turn to, Nika hit the road. She began traveling the world, seeking out the recently deceased to absorb their knowledge and their skills. She quickly discovered that her power only worked on those who had recently died. Her journey led her to the infamous Lord Deathman, who became her mentor. She adopted the codename of Flatline while training under his brutal tutelage. Her rise was meteoric. Flatline became one of the most dangerous fighters on the planet, earning an invitation to the legendary Lazarus Tournament. There, she made her mark by defeating Robin, Damian Wayne, in combat by ripping out his heart. Luckily for Damian, the tournament allowed each fighter 3 deaths before things got permanent. Damian was revived, and surprisingly, the two ended up becoming friends. They bonded over manga and shared stories beyond the battlefield. Together, they and the other contestants uncovered and thwarted the Lazarus League's true plan. After the dust settled, Flatline returned to Lord Deathman, but her journey was far from over. Not long after, a volcano erupted on Lazarus Island, spewing Lazarus resin across the globe. Flatline, like many others, was affected by the Lazarus resin and developed a new power. She began hearing a mysterious voice. She followed the voice, which led her to the remains of Ghul. When she opened the urn that contained his remains, Ghul seemingly returned to life and recruited Flatline for a mission. After a long absence, Flatline resurfaced in Gotham, asking Batman for permission to search for her sister Mila, who she had tracked to Gotham. But there was also another reason she had come to Gotham, which she kept to herself. Damian offered to help Flatline, and Batman gave them the green light. It didn't take them long to track down Mila, but what they discovered was shocking. Mila had inherited her grandfather's powers too. She revealed that after Flatline left, her own abilities awakened. She then dug into their grandfather's past and learned he wasn't a serial killer after all. After leaving the KGB, he had become a mercenary for hire and a gun runner. Mila tracked down his old associates and took over the family business. They were in Gotham to snatch up weapons left behind by Gotham's villains who had been locked up by Batman and Robin to sell them overseas. Damian went to take Mila down, but Flatline intervened, refusing to let her sister be jailed. Flatline then fled with her sister to meet up with the rest of her grandfather's crew. But just as Damian caught up to them, Flatline double-crossed her own sister, handing her over to the DEO, the Department of Extranormal Operations. She then explained to Damian that she had made a deal with the DEO and needed Mila to believe she was on her side to lead her to the rest of their grandfather's network. Damian was understanding, so Flatline decided to stick around for a few more days. She then went undercover with Damian at a school. Damian suspected that Principal Stone was really Mistress Harsh in disguise. Flatline came up with a plan to get them alone with the principal by starting a food fight and getting them detention. In detention, Damian was able to confront Principal Stone and get Mistress Harsh to break her cover. This also led to them discovering that Miss Hall was actually the villain Shush. Shush told Flatline and Damian about how she had betrayed Batman by leading him to the villain Man-Bat who had captured him. Flatline told Damian to go find his father while she got Shush to medical care. At the hospital, Shush handed Flatline the key to stopping Man-Bat's plan. Flatline then delivered it to Damian and Batman just in the nick of time, allowing them to stop Man-Bat. With the crisis averted, Flatline said her goodbyes to Damian and disappeared once again into the shadows. But as she left, Ra's al Ghul scolded her for keeping her connection to him a secret from Damian. Flatline's story is far from over, and she just might be destined to play a large role in the future of Damian Wayne. Flatline's powers are as chilling as they are extraordinary. She possesses a rare supernatural ability to absorb the memories, knowledge, and physical skills of anyone who dies near her, so long as the death is recent. This makes her a walking archive of lethal techniques, tactical brilliance, and dark secrets. Over time, she's honed these talents into a formidable arsenal, mastering martial arts, espionage, and medical techniques. Her relentless training under Lord Deathman and strategic mind make Flatline a living weapon that's unpredictable, unstoppable, and always evolving. Flatline's story is packed with twists, but the biggest question still hangs in the balance. Can Flatline resist the darkness for Damian, or is betrayal only a matter of time? Hit that like button if you're rooting for her redemption, and comment below with your take on what's next for Flatline. Well, as always, I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day to stop by the channel and check out this video. That'll do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Peace.